Don't feel like watching movies, so I'll watch people guess them instead. I don't know how it goes, I think it starts with your show. Wanna laugh.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be a very sweet treat of a day. I have brought forth the incredible Tyler Jacobson, who is someone that has been part of my life for, god dang, almost going on 20 years, a college friend who went on to become a world-renowned illustrator and just all-around awesome dude. Ladies and gentlemen, Tyler Jacobson.
Tyler Jacobson.
Hello. Thank you for having me, gentlemen. Thank you so much.
It's wonderful.
You're hard to get a hold of. I'll just say it. You're hard to find, Tyler.
So
Gotta
we
You
contact
had to
my
go through your
assistant.
manager. Yeah.
Yeah, your
Wow,
management was rough. Rough.
You know, they have to be able to put a shield up for me to protect me. You know,
That
they're
makes
doing a good
sense.
job.
Yeah.
So
He
we,
says it as he sits in front of swords.
They're decorative. They're decorative.
so I furiously Googled your name, sir, as soon as Joe said that we were going to have you on as the guest this week, and I was delighted by the artwork that you create. It's very awesome. It's very D&D. It's very super cool fantasy novel cover art kind of shit, and it just tickles me right up. It reminds me of when being a kid and walking through the shops and seeing like the cool dragons and wizards and things that you're just like, man, what a world that I wish I could see for a second, not live in, but visit maybe, and then come back to my safe world. But man, it's just really cool art, dude. Like who are your inspirations, and when did you get started doodling this shit?
Oh man, great question. Yeah, it's totally been. I mean, I don't know. Most fantasy illustrators are like, oh, I loved Frazetta, and
Fuck yeah.
I totally did too. I was a Frazetta junkie, but I think my biggest like junkie artist when I was a kid was Drew Struzan, who did all the movie posters in the
Yes!
80s and
Yeah, dude.
90s. So that was kind of
Yeah.
like, I know my work's nothing like Struzan's work. I might have one or two pieces that are kind of like his, but it was just that like image creation and storytelling attached to film, which I'm obsessed with too.
Tyler, do you
That
do
was the
you,
inspiration.
do you do a podcast on your own? Because I'm taken aback by the sort of soothing cadence that you speak with. Like it's really
It is.
nice. Like,
I do. I mean, I wouldn't call it a podcast, but I do a stream on Twitch with my friend Ray Bonilla, and we basically paint and talk about art. So we paint and
Oh.
talk shop the whole time.
That's
And
cool.
We haven't
Yeah.
done it in a couple months because he's had some, life events and stuff. But
Let's talk about him.
yeah, let's talk about his personal life. Real quick.
Why don't you? Do you have him on call? Can you call him?
Can
and
we
bring
call?
him
Can
in?
we get him on the line?
Let's just bring him in.
Just send
I mean,
him
they're
on.
good. They're good life events. It's not like a horrible life event.
Oh,
but,
good.
Welcome
but,
to our
then
next
I know it.
segment.
Yeah. Hold on, I
Tyler
have
gets
his-
personal.
Let me grab his diary over
About
here.
other people.
Tyler, hey, have you met Drew Struzan?
I have met him at a con once, but it was like
You
really nervous.
son
Have him
of a
sign a piece of
bitch.
paper.
Okay,
There you
so I met him also at Comic-Con. He was he did like a Walking Dead poster. Do you remember when Walking Dead was just coming out, and it was
Yeah.
like that poster with just like all the zombies up front and center? And,
Yeah, I saw that one in person.
Okay, so
They're
they were
huge in person.
Yes. So Frank Darabont and Drew Struzan were signing them like
Really? That's awesome.
at the Walking Dead booth, and I was like, are you kidding me? Of course I got to do this. So I was like so excited to fucking meet Drew Struzan. Like, I mean, come on, like, I mean,
The legend.
Back to the Future, Star Wars, The Thing, Indiana Jones, like, endless.
Well, that's the thing, right? Like for all of
E.T.
those that
Or not
don't
E.T.
really know who we're talking about, Drew Struzan was like, he was movie marketing from like 1979 through the mid 90s into the 2000s. Actually, like if you liked a movie poster and you're like, I want to watch that movie, you're walking through a theater, you're like, that's cool, and it wasn't a photoshopped piece of shit. That was
it was a
likely
beautiful
Drew
work
Struzan.
of
Yeah.
analog art.
Yeah, that was
Every
also-
Indiana
is that-
Jones, every Star Wars, like
Yeah,
everything.
That was
Is that
why
kind
they.
of where we?
Oh, good.
Was that kind of where we got the inspiration for the movie game?
Yeah.
Design that's coming out.
when
Yeah,
I
it's
was
like
when I was
same
reaching
sort of-
out to the artist, I was like, let's try to like let's do our movie mash thing, but try to like kind of mimic a Struzen a little bit.
Cool.
She did a great job.
And with Struzen, it's like, you know, you back in those days, like it was the only like visual you got of a movie. Like you didn't really like you didn't have the internet to watch trailers or look up images or look up whatever, anything about it. All you saw was a poster and maybe a blurb in the newspaper or something like that, you know? Like so it was so important for that work to just kind of like showcase what you were going to see, because it was like the way to draw people in. And man, it was just such an awesome experience to meet him. But I was like, and I'm a toucher, right? Like I like to touch people's shoulders and hug and shake hands and shit. And we just before we went up to meet him, like some handler was like, Mr. Struzen is not touching anyone today. Like no handshakes, nothing. And I was like, oh shit.
Good to have boundaries. Good for him.
Right? I had never experienced that. Like as a big nerd, like I was a nerd first before I joined the likes of these
The fuck boy.
The fuck boys before I give it a fuck boy. But I had never ever encountered like because you know you just want to touch these people. You want to touch these people who
power.
Yeah, right? It's just you worship these people from afar, and it was just so strange. Like I had sex with Frank Darabont on the table, but I couldn't touch Drew Struzan, which I thought was real strange.
I mean,
Struzen was rules, like, you know? Yeah, and Struzen was making art of the sex that you were having with Frank Darabont.
Oh, he was making art of it. Oh yeah, he was jacking
Tyler,
off.
we go blue sometimes on this podcast,
You know what?
and we
I love
probably
it.
should have
I
warned
love what's
you.
going on.
I don't think sex is blue. It's very natural.
You don't have to be.
It
We
gets
go
blue.
contrarian as well. Steve will go contrarian on you over nothing.
I just didn't think it was that blue.
There it is. See, he'll do it again.
It's greenish blue. So
You
it's
want to
like
talk about
close in the
cum?
middle.
We could get real blue, baby.
There you go. See.
So real quick, just so everybody understands the context of it all, you know, he took that Struzen love, and then we made love, Tyler and I, at Gonzaga for 4 years.
Ooh,
and
a
then
lot of
he
love.
left me for he left me for art school and went on to work with, because I think this is important. People who don't know should know. Wizards of the Coast, Dungeons and Dragons, Magic the Gathering.
Fuck yeah.
Like you're like huge in that world. You're my friend that's outside of this weird like
Whoa, I
internet
didn't know
creator world. Yeah, that is like we know people that are known by people like, oh, that guy has that many subscribers, yada yada yada. Hank Green, you know, Phil DeFranco, stuff like that. But Tyler has nothing to do with this world and is got just as much notoriety in a different way. Like people go, oh, is that a Jacobson? And then they'll pay a lot of money for it.
Yeah,
He's that fucking cool.
Phil's really bigging me up here, so I'm just gonna nod along.
You got a good tax guy?
Yeah. A lot of, yeah, it's amazing when you become an artist. They don't prepare you for how much taxes you have to do, and we went to art school so that we didn't have to deal with numbers. So
In fact, I don't think
it's the opposite.
No one really prepares you for the taxes. No one does. Like we never got. I didn't get a proper. Right? None of us did. It's bullshit.
Yeah, I get every tax season. I get really libertarian. Like,
right?
Libertarian for a month. Like, where does this go? Where does this go?
This is my money. I won't drive on the roads.
I won't use any of your services.
If I have a fire, I'll put it out. Okay?
Yeah, I got a hose. So yeah, I don't know. It's a weird business, but yeah, Joe's right. It's been like Wizards of the Coast has been like my career for 12 years now. I've done work. I've done almost all the 5e covers. There's, I wouldn't say all of them, but there's I don't know, most of them, and tons of Magic work, and that's kind of become my primary client for the past at least 8 or 9 years.
That's so
super
cool.
fun stuff though. It's a weird arena to be in.
Was it like surreal when it first started happening? Where you're like, is this, because it's like the dream, right? Like what you were aiming for. I can't imagine there being much different outcome that's cooler, if that makes any sense.
Yeah,
I just kind of put all the words together in a sentence, and I assume you'll figure it out. And
yeah, I've deconstructed. I'm unpacking what you said, and
yeah, I didn't use any linking verbs or anything.
No, it was super surreal because it's I don't think it's a sort of getting to work for D&D was kind of adjacent to what I was actually looking for coming out of art school. I was looking at like visual development for games and film, and I had some illustration work, so I was like, I guess I could do magazines and book covers and stuff. And then I got hit up by D&D by John Schindehede, who was like an art director over there at the time. And I was like, holy shit, this is a game I played in the 90s like crazy, second edition D&D. And
goddamn,
back
so
then
cool.
it was super cool game back then. It's still awesome, of course, but back then I was like a little kid just drawing, not paying attention to the game. I would just draw my little character in the little stupid box that they gave you that was blank, and listen to my brother.
Like, yeah, I rolled a 20, but look at this cool sketch.
Yeah, look at what I drew. Who cares about your stupid adventure that you spent a week making? So that's where I started, and it was pretty surreal to actually land on that brand, which I grew up with. So
Very cool.
Crazy.
God, that's so fucking
I was looking
cool.
at your clients. I was looking at your clients, Tyler, and I read some of the first ones. And then there's also Entertainment Weekly, The New Yorker, Sports Illustrated, a lot of other big names. But then nestled right in the middle of it, out of like 30 names, looks like about the 10th name is Bratz and Beretta.
I've kept it in there as a perpetual shout out to the little cartoon drawings I did for you guys when you're doing that pilot.
I mean, Joe, you laugh because those are some huge names in there, but like I have friends who like will mention Bratz and Beretta as something that inspired them when they were young, and it's like, I think you deserve to be there, buddy.
Yeah,
you guys were paving the way for so many people in the early YouTube days.
You're right. It needs to be in there right between Simon and Schuster and NBC.
Yeah,
That's
exactly. Exactly. As
You
far
see, I
as-
think I put it before NBC. Do you see that? Do you see there?
Yeah.
Well, it's alphabetical.
And Simon and Schuster started out as a sketch group, and they were
That's
really
right.
good. They were pre-Smosh, just like you
Right.
were. Yeah.
Right.
It was kind of like the
Speaking of
Smothers
blue,
Brothers.
their stuff was real blue.
Yeah, just
Oh my
crass.
God.
Back
Couldn't
when
show it on the
newspapers-
podcast if we wanted. Yeah.
No. I wouldn't even go there.
Dude,
But
Tyler.
what was your involvement with Bratz and Beretta? What did you do?
Oh, I mean, I had, Joe was a buddy of mine, and he's not anymore. We're enemies.
No, of course
But
not.
back in school, we
Zero.
were real good friends. My involvement in Bratz and Beretta was I was almost often an extra or holding a camera. I think that was usually what was happening.
So
'Cause
Joe was putting
I didn't
you
want
to
to be
work.
on. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was
He also
in
did like the
background
early
a lot.
art for it. Yeah.
right. We did like a logo.
If you
and
watch
this is
the old-
before I knew how to really draw.
Yeah.
And
So
I did
was-
a silly logo.
Did you do so? You didn't want to be on camera, but you did it because Joe was your friend, and you were like, "This is kind of fun, and if he needs me, I'm gonna be there for him." Like, is that kind of what your feeling was?
Dude, what it was is like obviously I wanted to be like a cool performer like Joe was, but I was too like afraid to do it. I like tried improv with him, and I was like, it was like post-traumatic stress for me for the next like month. Like, wow, I said something that was stupid or no one laughed. And so it was just easier for me, I think, psychologically to just help Joe and Luke with stuff. Just background work essentially.
Yeah,
So
he was in a
that
bunch
was it.
of
I was just too afraid to be a cool performer.
Do you miss
Go
it? Like,
watch-
is there a part of you where you're like, man, I wish I could? Like, there's a world where I did stuff like Joe did, and it was Bratz and Jacobs or Beretta and Jacobson. You know?
Simon and Schuster.
Yeah.
I mean, those are law firms.
Jacobson and Beretta.
Yeah, just Beretta and
Morgan and
Jacobson
Morgan.
sounds like a dentist's office or a law firm. There's still hope, man. We could still go to law school.
There you
it's not
go.
that bad.
we can always go back. That's what we forget at this age. We were just like, we were the run and gun, just dumb kids that liked making movies. Like that was kind of like the impetus of it all. Tyler's a huge cinephile. We were huge cinephiles, and we just had a camera and a broadcasting class. So we just started making shit. That's all it
Yeah.
really was. And then it kind of like steamrolled into other stuff.
We were
I can't
reading.
imagine.
Oh, go ahead, man.
After you, please.
Well, I was saying we were reading Bruce Campbell's autobiography, the If Chins Could Kill.
I remember that.
And Joe and I
Yeah.
were like we were getting all these tips, like how do we make fake blood, and then we were filming like horror movie stuff in the theater at Gonzaga, and we were trying to make fake blood and spray it all over the place, and it was just like we got to be like Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell and make horror movies.
Were you involved in the famous throwing the dummy off of the bridge shoot that Joe told us about? Joe, remember you threw a body off of a...
Oh yeah, I wasn't,
Yeah.
but I remember that one.
No. We kept the crew really, really small on that one in case we had to disperse. We didn't want to be seen.
That's pretty cool.
No, Tyler's in Gonzaga Love. Go watch the Gonzaga Love video. It's just a bunch of white boys covering California Love by Dre and Tupac. And singing about Gonzaga University. It's very, the lyrics are great. It's still a bunch of white boys, but it's very funny if you go to that video now, because it's like Tyler is a, like I said, like a massive illustrator that is world known. There's a doctor in that video. There's like I think a high-level scientist. There's a physical therapist that owns his own business. And then I made Trivia Bidet.
We're going into it. We're going into it.
Welcome to Gonzaga University.
There it is.
We're going to get audio.
As we discover how this small
video.
Jesuit institution has maintained a tradition
What year
of
was
scholastic excellence
2005.
for more than a century.
What accent is that, Joe, that you're doing there?
Rich guy
like
accent.
Outside of Newcastle, yeah, it's just a little. It's a very specific English accent.
Look at all those white boys.
So wait, are you one of these guys in here?
Oh yeah, I'm the guy on the far right.
Look
this
at
guy
you,
here?
baby.
Oh, the far right.
This guy.
Yep.
Little baby boy right there.
Little baby boy.
Yeah.
I wish
Before I realized I could hide
most.
most of my face with a beard.
Can you enhance it, Steve? Can we
I wish I could. I wish I could. I was just gonna zoom in on the super pixelated image.
This is not problematic at all. This is totally fine.
We're just rapping about Jesuit universities.
Yeah.
Did you get your own moment in the video? Like you get your close up?
I
Yes,
think
he does.
I'm strutting down the hall in one of those situations. I think that was my moment.
That's good.
I had like a cane or something and a very pink shirt on.
I can't believe Luke let you do that. That's
Do
pretty
people
good.
who are a fan of your work know about this?
Oh, they don't. So we've just opened up a new realm. I think I'm in that short that we made too for the film festival.
The Just Wonderful. Yeah, we won a film
Just
festival.
Wonderful.
Oh, I think I found your moment here. You go,
Oh yeah.
hang on, I think I found it. Let me see. Is this it? Is this it right here? Is that you with the
There
cane?
he
Oh
is.
yeah, that's me. That was me. Hell yeah.
Right here, Mr. K-
Oh, that's right. I had a pink tie. I had a pink
Mr.
tie
Shaky
on.
Cane.
Yeah, killing it. You're getting
What
into
is
it.
it? I think it was like what was that? Like a croquet
Yeah,
mallet?
What was the point of those? What was the reasoning for the canes, Joe?
We were gonna do a Shining recreation later on. I guess.
Yeah. I guess we were rich. We were playing rich, affluent,
Oh, okay.
private
got it.
university assholes
Croquet.
walking around
Play a lot of
doing
croquet.
a cover. So
Yeah,
that was
croquet.
Look, we had ideas. Okay, we had ideas.
They're just flowing.
We made
what's
them
your
happen.
Tyler, what's your favorite and least favorite memory about Joe Beretta?
Oh man. Favorite.
Now you're on the spot.
dude, that's a good one.
Just add memory.
Yeah, now I'm mining my whole memory. I remember like it was like, didn't your bike get stolen like day one at Gonzaga when we were all like freshmen in the dorm?
Whoa,
He had
I
it,
haven't
like,
heard
He had it
this.
like
Yes, it
chained
did,
up
because I
outside
was-
the window.
Because I was stupid. Like, I was from
Yeah.
small town Montana. Spokane isn't the biggest city on the planet, but it's got its fair share of crime. And I just was like, my bike will be fine outside the dorm next to the tree next to my window, barely, like, with like basically a bike lock made out of freaking cotton.
Yeah,
Like somebody just funk gone, and I was just flabbergasted.
Yeah,
I was
he
like,
tied
what?
it up with a rope
Why-
that
who
he
would-
brought from Montana off of a horse. I was like, dude, it's not gonna work.
I was flabbergasted. Everybody else was like, "Yeah, dude, what do you think?"
Was it a new bike?
Yes,
Oh man,
sucked.
yeah, it was.
It was a brand new bike. Oh, Joe, I'm sorry. That sucks.
I know this wasn't really answering your question because this is neither a high nor low. It's just like my first memory of Joe.
No, that's good. That's the kind of
Was
do it. Yeah,
this
just
guy
slice
who
of life. Yeah.
Hitched his bike up like a horse, and then it
Were
got
you
stolen.
like, man, this guy's not? Did you think
Patted
this guy,
it on its nose. You be
Fed it
good.
some oats?
Were you thinking that this guy wasn't gonna make it? Like he's just like this is the start of his college career.
Yeah,
he's
I mean,
not gonna make it.
maybe a little bit, maybe a
Bad
little.
omen.
It was sort of he was kind of like he looked just like this, right? He was dressed just like this, and he was from
Yeah,
Montana,
logic.
and then there was a guy down like 3 doors down from us who dressed like he was a cowboy out of a western.
Whoa.
And I was like, Joe, there's a weird switch here. It's like I feel like you should be dressed like the cowboy, and the guy down the dorm hall, who's from Washington, should be dressed like, I don't know, he should have like a plaid shirt on or something and listen to Nirvana, but he didn't. It was a mix.
You should have fought for that.
Yeah, you should have fought that really like crisp white cowboy hat. You should have had that on.
Yes, I should have. I will get one now. I will look for my first crisp white cowboy hat that I can
I don't
ride
know what
my
people-
bike with.
I didn't know what
Yeah,
people
you-
from Montana look like, so
Weren't you wearing a cowboy hat like yesterday, Joe, or like the day
Oh
before?
yeah, we were shooting. We were shooting
Yeah.
something, and he was wearing a cowboy hat.
Full circle.
No one said
Full circle.
anything.
No. I
circle.
mean, it's a wacky office. We wear weird
Wacky.
shit sometimes. We wacky boys.
We did.
that's just
we
him
did a-
coming back to his roots.
Right, exactly.
hitched my bike up like a horse. Fuck you, man.
Now I can't. I'm trying to remember like a great memory and a bad memory, and now I just don't
No,
remember.
it's okay.
Actually,
You don't
I
have to-
think
that
my
was good, that was
favorite,
good.
my favorite was we shot this like silly chase movie,
Oh yeah.
and my artistic contribution was I knew how to do like bruise makeup, like
Oh,
pretty
cool.
legit looking bruise makeup. So we both like did bruise makeup on ourselves, and then like ran around downtown Spokane, and it was completely a sheet of ice. So we were like
the winter,
near
yeah.
tearing our MCLs and ACLs every 5 feet.
Oh,
And
God.
we had like a fake gun, and we're running around downtown. And then anytime we would see a cop drive by, we would like hide the gun. So we could
the gun to the side.
been killed.
It's
Yeah.
got the orange tip. They'll see the orange tip.
We broke into a church, I think, and we had the gun.
Yes, we did.
And we did some shots like at the altar with the gun.
Whoa, damn.
That's why the bike got stolen.
Yeah.
Dude,
The Lord stole it.
The Lord
It
stole
was-
that horse bike.
it was so stupidly dramatic how we did it too. Like I got hit by a car right beforehand, and I'm limping down the long aisle up to the altar, and it's just me. Nobody else is in the church, so it's this super dramatic shot. We like snuck up into like the second level rafters, and we're shooting this wide shot. And then I get down to the altar, and I'm like, oh, I made it. There's also no dialogue in this film because we were like, no, we didn't know how to do that.
Yeah.
And I get to the altar, and we do this profile shot, and it's just super dramatic, me looking down. And then we do a shot for me from the front, and then I start doing the like forehead chest. For some reason, I start doing the Catholic thing,
The sign of the cross.
and then the sign of the cross, like because I would do that in that
What
moment.
did you call
after
them?
Surviving this. Forehead, chest, side.
Heads, shoulders, knees, and toes.
And
That's
the
the Latin
gun
for it,
pops
but
in
yeah.
from the back. Anyways, I'll show it to you guys.
That's what they
get-
I'll find it.
Yeah.
Tyler, do you still
was
know how
good.
to do the special effects makeup? Do you still do the bruises every now and then?
No,
just to
I
scare
haven't done it in a
people?
while, but I still have like a little kit for doing it. But I should just do it and like go in public and look really
Yeah.
cool. I think later that night we went to a party and kept the makeup on so that we looked like, oh yeah, we got in a fight. It's so cool.
Rough boys.
Yeah, we weren't.
Couple
we
of rough
weren't like
dorks.
great with the ladies or anything like that.
Guess what? That didn't help us that evening.
No, it did not. No.
Ooh, I want the injured guy.
Yeah. So yeah, we basically
Exactly. I want the one who got his ass kicked.
Yeah.
we stumbled upon each other, like I said, freshman year, and then we were friends all throughout, and then we were roommates post college for like, I don't know, 6 months or something like that. We did the thing where you go work at a restaurant, spaghetti factory, and then one
The
day
old
Tyler's
one?
like, the very old one,
Ye old.
ye old. Tyler woke up one day, he's like, dude, I'm leaving, I'm going to art school, and I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Wait, when did you
I
when did you
dropped it on you
decide
hard.
that? And then
I
he was
like,
gone.
Good luck paying rent.
Yeah.
Peace.
I'm gonna go be successful.
I don't know.
And that-
It was like 6 months of we lived above a bar in right
Yep.
next to Gonzaga, and
Above John Stockton's dad's bar.
yeah, and for a few months I was like, this is not right. I shouldn't be doing this. And then we moved out
This
like
is
up the
not
river.
right.
This isn't right.
This is not what humans should do. Something's not right here.
Those moments in life are rare and clear as day.
Crystal clear.
No.
It's
No,
kind
this
of an
isn't it.
existential crisis.
Yeah.
He was gone, and then I was like, that was the first time that I lived by myself ever, and only lasted a few months. But I was like, whoa. And I was then at that point going, this is not right.
Yeah, this isn't right.
I have to follow Tyler and go to art school.
Yeah, we had
Found a
it's like we all had parachutes and we were like, get out of the plane.
See you, buddy.
go. Yeah, and then I just stumbled onto YouTube at that point. But anyways, fast forward a number of years. The other reason I wanted to have you on real quick and let's talk about it now is that you just launched a freaking Kickstarter that's doing
we
bonkers.
just fast forwarded to the present. Okay.
yeah
Right now.
Let's pull out
yeah,
those
so-
back
gray
in the past
hairs.
in a
Hold on.
second.
Mm-hmm. Shave that beard.
So yeah, I just along with a publisher that I'm good friends with, Flesk Publications, we started Kickstarter for an art book that's sort of a retrospective on the last 12 years of my art career. It's about maybe, I don't know, 13, 14 years, because it's a little bit of it is in art school. That's kind of where the book's going to start out. So, and yeah, we launched on the 6th, and we're at about 250% funded, which is great.
That's awesome, man. That's
Congrats,
so cool.
man.
Yeah.
So cool.
So yeah, go
Yeah.
check it out. It's on Kickstarter, the art of TYLER JACOBSON, Flesk Publications, and we're gonna add all kinds of stretch goals coming up here soon. So yeah, super
Yeah,
exciting.
you just did one, right? You
What's
just did
gonna-
one. Your first stretch goal.
Yeah, so our first stretch goal was the 40,000 mark. So once we got there, I'm basically offering to all the backers it's like a time lapse video of me painting the cover of the book. I painted in this program on the iPad called Procreate, and it's full of all these cool tools that just automatically make a time lapse for you at any point in the painting process. You can just kind of hit the video and you'll have
Cool.
a time lapse. So we're offering that up, and I'll show some sketch process work, and then we'll probably like pan over the thing as detail, and we'll give that as our first stretch goal met. And I'm not sure, we're still brainstorming what to do on the second one. I painted
Tyler
another
with his
painting.
shirt off.
Yeah, that'll be. I think that's
Sexy
gonna
Joe
Tyler
with his
Kelly.
shirt off.
yeah, I kind of want to, because I'm pretty good in Photoshop, so I kind of want to change aspects of my anatomy for
Yeah.
that second stretch goal, and that's gonna take a little bit of time.
Who doesn't?
Well, what's
This doesn't seem
what's-
right.
This doesn't seem right.
Yeah. No, that should be more defined. And that should be less defined.
Those shouldn't be touching.
Bigger, blur, bigger, blur.
Do you like
Enhance,
to
enhance.
use
I should have that checked out at some point.
do you like to use yeah, maybe. Do you like to use an iPad for stuff for art?
Yeah, a little. I don't. It's like most of my main production process is in Photoshop, or I do oil paintings as well. But I only just started kind of messing around with the iPad, and it's got some seriously cool tools. There's Procreate, which is an amazing painting tool, like clearly designed for digital artists. It has all the stuff that like Photoshop should have done 10 years ago. And then there's a new like sculpting tool I've been using called Nomad. That's pretty amazing. It's basically like ZBrush, but with all of the convoluted aspects of ZBrush removed.
Oh wow.
So there's a couple really great stuff on there. Like, I don't know. I've long thought that Apple could destroy Wacom and
Yeah.
other companies if they just shipped basically an iPad the size of their iMacs.
Or like a
that made it-
Cintiq or something. Yeah.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
they just would ship something like that, they would destroy.
Oh
Everybody.
man, that's so funny. I guess they must not want to do that. I mean, otherwise they would have, right? Like, I
Yeah.
agree. Because I used to dabble with Wacom back in the day, and I really loved it. And I have always wanted a Cintiq, just because, like, not for any professional reason, but just because I like to doodle and I think it's really cool. And the iPad really kind of satisfied that need, especially with the Apple Pencil. It's like a really cool device.
Yeah, it's got great feedback, and I know plenty of production artists that use it for all their final illustrations. So
Wow,
it
crazy.
works. It's got the ability.
That's awesome.
Do you this might be a dumb question, but do you have a studio where you do the physical sort of like your own kind of canvas, paper, tools, all that? Does they have separate from your digital hub or your office
Yeah,
area now, I guess?
yeah. I'm like at my digital hub now, which is like a laptop and a Cintiq, and then downstairs is where I have my oil painting set up. So that usually takes up a lot more space. There's like a big easel and lots of paint brushes and
Cool.
all that crap. So yeah, but that's downstairs, and I have like a special light rig and all that crazy stuff that's like studio related.
That's
Do you
so cool,
still
man.
use-
That's so cool.
It's
Love it.
amazing. It's the best story you've ever heard, right?
It's
No,
so
truly,
cool.
Yeah.
it's
It really
fascinating.
is.
Yeah.
Let me know if this is pulling the curtain back too far and obliterating the fourth wall. But
Don't reveal my match.
what I love the most about all of your paintings, and sometimes I can see it, so it's like if you want to understand what I'm saying right now, everybody, go look at some of his pieces, is that you always got to find some point of reference for a lot of your characters. It's like it's not just coming out of your mind. Ty will put in the work. He's got to basically put a human into the space that he wants that person to be in, the same pose and all of that. And what is it? 99% of the time it's you.
Yeah. That's totally me.
Oh, that's so
Especially
cool.
if you see almost any hands you see in any of my paintings are my hands. I just like get my phone out or something and I go like this, and then I just use that as a reference.
That's awesome.
And yeah, oftentimes it'll be like, especially like 8 or 9 years ago, it was almost always my face, and then I would just super manipulate it in
That's awesome.
Photoshop.
That's
So,
very
yeah, that's
Struzen.
awesome. That's how you
I
gotta
feel like
do it.
Struzen did that a lot, right? Or like,
Oh yeah, I mean, he straight up just used stills from the studios. They would send him all the photos possible. Sometimes he
Yeah.
would bring in, like Back to the Future, he brought in Michael J. Fox and Christopher
Right.
Lloyd and photographed them.
That your hand?
Oh yeah, totally my hand. I have yeah, I kind of
That's
hide
definitely
it,
your
but
hand.
there's another finger in there. But yeah,
Wait
that's my
a
You
hand.
did
minute.
get another thing. That's a
Yeah,
five
those guys are 6-fingered. I shot myself in the foot when I
One of
designed
the-
those characters.
One of the cool
You
Struzen.
shot yourself in the hand, Tyler.
Oh yes, yeah. I shot that
Sorry,
pinky right off.
With an extra finger bullet. Yeah.
One of the
It
cool
stuck right on.
Speaking of point of reference and using yourself in your art, one of my favorite Struzen. I have this the Thing poster where he's, it's like the guy in the coat and the light is
Yeah,
coming out of the face there. I guess that's like him just wearing a coat, or it's like and then he just took a picture of himself, like a Polaroid or something, and then he
And
just used
painted
that
it
as
in a night.
yeah, and it's still
He
it's
did that a lot. Is Big Trouble in Little China? That's not Kurt Russell's body. That's Drew Struzan's body, and he just plopped Kurt Russell's head on it.
So how often are there like characters that are your like just your body, like and do you put on clothes to like kind of reference the type of clothing too?
I used to do that actually quite a bit. I don't do it much anymore because I'll use like digital tools now that have all kinds of cool like posing of figures. But yeah, it used to be me. I would get dressed up in silly stuff. I'd go buy like weird Western boots or like there's the Western cover on my website where there's a guy like his kind of throwing his duster back in the wind and he's shooting something. I bought all this Western shit and like rented all these Western guns and pistols from this prop shop in Napa when I lived in the Bay. And then that was all me. I was like entirely in this cowboy outfit, and then I just took reference to that and painted.
Do you still
That's
have
so
it?
awesome.
The stuff? Yeah, I've actually bought the duster in at a wedding in Montana for like it was like
Did you
50
see my
bucks.
bike?
I was like, this is a super nice.
Yeah. Did you use it to
duster.
tie up a bike? And,
Yeah. Well, I got it. It was off of Joe's horse. And, he just left
Son
it
of a
hanging off the
bitch.
saddle. It was great.
Joe, come on, man! Someone's gonna take that nice jacket.
Some rebel from the Bay, from
Right.
the city.
Ty, you've got
Let's
like
just stop talking.
Yeah.
Everyone, a
quiet.
moment of silence for the jacket.
Please.
There's
Let Joe cry for a minute.
you're painting like fucking dragons and robots and just mythical creatures and stuff. Is there, I don't know, it's all so technical and complicated to me. Like when I see it, it looks like wizard work. Like you're a wizard to me. Like what's the
coat.
hardest thing that you what is the hardest thing that you have to do a piece like for fantasy and they're like, we want this in it? You're like, fuck. Like, is there something that's really hard for you to draw that is a super challenge? Paint.
Yeah, it usually if they ask for
illustrate.
this goes right back to our previous comment, but
Doodle.
it's when they ask for a horse. You'll like see very little horses in my work. I'm not good with horses.
It's like that's
All of
your
them just look a
kryptonite.
little off.
Horses.
They're always like, "Is that a
Stop
horse?
putting
What's
6
wrong with
fingers
that
on your
horse?"
horses.
There's something wrong with that horse.
Please don't make me draw a horse.
God, now that I
Tyler-
said it, like every art director I know is going to ask for horses. Great.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the ad portion of the podcast. I've got my peppermint tea. It's a nice early morning. Let's do this together, huh? Fellas, the sport of business means demanding excellence from your craft and your wardrobe. Your fits need to be versatile, blending timeless style and comfort so that you look as good as you feel, you know? For that, there's Cuts Clothing. They've taken a classic men's fashion staple, the plain tee, and refined it, combining premium quality with a minimalistic aesthetic. Cut shirts, polos, hoodies, and crew sweatshirts are made for the man who works hard and plays hard. And also never settles for less, all in the sport of business. Built for performance in the boardroom, the bar, or the gym, that sounds like everywhere, right? Cuts Clothing keeps you sharp wherever the game takes you. Take a plain tee, but make it Tony Stark, you know? We're upgrading it. It's like when Steve Jobs wore his tees all the time, but like Steve Jobs times 5 billion in cool points. The bleeding edge of fabric technology meets the man confident enough to wear it. Cuts Clothing. The perfect t-shirt accomplished. They did it. They set out to create They set out to create fabric uniquely engineered for each clothing style. Consider the new Cuts hoodie, where they developed Hyperloop French terry fabric, a textile that's temperature controlled and ageless. You'll never need to take it off, and you certainly won't want to. Or you can try the wrinkle-free Pika Polo, a design that keeps you fitted for the office, the golf course, at home, the gym, or your next hot date. See? You wear it wherever you go. You never have to take it off. And from personal experience, you may not want to because they don't say it here, but I'll give this to them. It's like wearing a cuddle. Do you guys like a good firm cuddle that reaffirms your existence and makes you feel appreciated and validated? That's Cuts Clothing. That's these t-shirts. So, it's not just a lifestyle, everybody. It's not just clothing. It's office leisure apparel for the sport of business. Get 15% off your first order by going to cutsclothing.com/valleycast. That's cutsclothing.com/valleycast for 15% off the only shirt worth wearing. All right, so for me, in the stressful times in my life, that's when I still get breakouts. That's when my adult acne will kick in. This could be anything from trading vows on the altar. It could be job interviews, meeting people for the first time. Personally, for me, for sure, is doing a live show, getting ready for that. That's when they kind of happen. So we've all had struggles with our skin, and that's why we're excited to partner with Apostrophe, the sponsor of this episode. Apostrophe is a prescription skincare company that offers science-backed oral and topical medications that are clinically proven to help clear acne. Apostrophe connects you with a board-certified dermatologist, which is cool, who will create a personalized treatment plan that is perfectly tailored to your unique skin. Simply fill out Apostrophe's online quiz and your skin goals and medical history. Then snap a few selfies and your dermatologist will create your customized treatment plan. Apostrophe treats acne and they can also help hit your other skincare goals like reducing redness, wrinkles, and even dark spots. And I will be experiencing those all real soon. So this is an all-in-one kind of service right now. This is the coolest part. The dermatologist, right? You get to actually talk to and go back and forth with a real dermatologist, a real doctor that will plan and tailor the regimen for your skin. Submitting the visit is super quick and you don't need to schedule an appointment, and you have that confidence that you're actually creating a plan for your unique body chemistry because you're talking to a real human who specializes in that. And that's one of the coolest things about this is that you're planning it for you. We have a special deal for our audience today. You're going to save $15 off your first visit with a board-certified dermatologist at apostrophe.com/valleycast when you use our code valleycast. This code is only available to our listeners, so you guys are special. So to get started, go to apostrophe.com/valleycast and click begin visit and then use our code valleycast. at sign up and you'll get $15 off your dermatology visit. That's apostrophe.com/valleycast and use that code valleycast to get your dermatology visit and save $15. And we thank Apostrophe for sponsoring this podcast. And again, let me just throw it out there. I've used it and cleared me right up, so I highly suggest it. Give it a shot. And finally, summer's coming. Are you ready to unveil your beach bod? Well, you're in luck. Our friends at Manscaped just launched their 4th generation performance package, which includes the Lawnmower 4.0. You heard that right, the 4.0. Complement your summer bod with the trim from the leaders in male grooming. The sun is shining and calling your name, fellas. Join the 2 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped and get ready for hot guy summer by going to manscaped.com for 20% off plus free shipping with the code Valleycast. You know what I'm talking about? Look, this is a real thing. Sometimes you forget that you got to do some work down there, and one day you wake up and it's just like boom. You're hitting yourself in the face with your own your hair package. And you don't need that, so it's time to bundle up with Manscaped. Because, like, look, in the past, I trimmed. I tried to keep it classy down there, and in doing so, and using tools that may not be specially designed for the job, I have definitely ginsued my skin dudes. I ginsued my skin dudes. But that's why we have Manscaped in the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer, crop preserver, ball deodorant, crop reviver toner, performance boxer briefs, and a travel bag to make sure everything's getting all done down there. And that travel bag is classy as heck. It all fits in there. It's an all-in-one grooming kit, and it's awesome. First off, the new Performance Package 4.0 includes the new Lawnmower 4.0. This trimmer is insane, and I dare say the GOAT of all ball trimmers? Question mark? Perhaps? Yeah, I said it. I did it. The 4th generation trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents, which is what I was talking about earlier, thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology. The Lawnmower 4.0 has a 7,000 RPM motor, a new multifunction on-off switch that can engage a travel lock, and gives you the ability to turn the 4000K LED spotlight on and off when needed for a more precise shave, which is something that surprised the heck out of me after I started using this thing. That light is convenient. Everything should have a light on it. It's what I learned from them in using their product. It's also waterproof. You can do it in the shower. That's dope. And the Weed Whacker is waterproof as well. You want to know what the Weed Whacker was? Well, it's to chop your worst weeds on top of your body, your nose, and your ear. The Weed Whacker is also waterproof and uses 9,000 RPM motor-powered 360-degree rotary dual-blade system. This nose and ear hair trimmer provides proprietary skin-safe technology, which helps prevent nicks, snags, and tugs in those delicate holes. So you're doing the downstairs junk, and this one is for your upstairs junk. And what are the nose and the ear if they're not the testicles of the face? Seal the deal with Manscaped's liquid formulations. Before heading outside, use Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant to keep you on your game in the heat. Then after trimming the lawn and whacking the weeds in the heat, give your beach balls a boost and use Crop Reviver. Manscaped even threw in 2 free gifts to their Performance Package 4.0, the Manscaped Boxers and the Shed Travel Bag. So bring your comfort and your boxers to another level. And that travel bag, it's classy and roomy. I highly suggest it. So, to get 20% off plus free shipping with the code Valleycast at manscaped.com, that's 20% off plus free shipping with the code Valleycast at manscaped.com. Escape the shrubs and weeds this summer, everybody, and shine with Manscaped. One more time, get 20% off plus free shipping with the code Valleycast at manscaped.com. Back to me and the others.
Do you, when you fall asleep at night, do you dream of dragons and fantastical things, or do you feel like you dream of the most normal things because you're so saturated with it in your waking life?
Okay. This is situationally dependent. Like if I am painting all day, my mind is just like going over colors and what colors are going to go where in the painting. That's like all I think about, and I can't even fall asleep.
Oh, no.
I'll just be up. Especially if I'm in the middle of a painting, I'll just be up obsessing over like what I'm going to do the next day on it. And then I'll wake up the next day like super tired from obsessing over it. So yeah, and I wouldn't say I'm like always thinking of dragons and stuff. While
You're not terrorized by medieval creatures in your sleep.
No.
That's good. That's all I was asking. Yeah, okay, good to know. Good to know.
Sometimes
Okay.
when I play Tetris, I'll dream of just playing Tetris. Like I'll play Tetris
Yeah.
and then I'll dream of it, and then I'll have anxiety while I dream.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
equate it to. It's like when you played a video game for way too long and then it's just playing in your mind
Right.
all day.
Right.
Or, you know, you like play some old game like Splinter Cell or something, and all you see are shadows to hide in every time you're walking around.
Exactly.
It's that like it's like when you get the music stuck in your head from the game, or just like the visuals of the game. I have the painting, whatever painting I'm working on, it's just like playing in my head over and over again.
Do you guys ever have the thing where when you're hanging out with people for a long time, their voice takes over your thoughts a little bit? Like they start narrating. You have that, Joe?
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's-
it happens
okay, great.
sometimes. Yeah.
yeah.
It's very annoying.
Yeah.
I had that with Pete the other day. I hung out with him, and he's Irish, which was kind of fun because then I was like, my thoughts are in Irish right now. This is cool. I was like, I
get
want this to end.
I get TikToks stuck in my head. Like a TikTok, like it's like I have TikToks in my head now.
That
Help
makes
me.
sense.
Help me, I have TikToks.
That's actually,
Help me, Doc. I
that's
have
the-
TikToks.
Help me, doctor. I got TikToks in here.
That's the phrase. That's the phrase for the age. It's help me.
Help me.
I have been on TikTok for 12 hours.
For too long.
I got
And
the
then-
stop guy.
Now they have the stop guy. Yeah, I'm like, get out of here! Don't tell me what to do.
They have the stop guy. They have a guy who tells you to stop.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a video that pops up and he goes, "Hold on, looks like you've been watching for a while. Maybe take a little break or something." And it's like, whoa.
But come back in 5 seconds, please. Come back in 5 seconds.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah. Or don't
Reminds
listen.
me.
Yeah.
It reminds me of the Wii U, or when it came out, and or maybe it's just the Wii, where it was like you play it for like an hour, and then it's like, why don't you go outside
Yep.
and enjoy the weather?
Oh yeah.
Fuck you,
Right,
Wii
and
U.
everyone ignored that. Even though they
Everyone's
shouldn't
like,
have.
how do I turn this off? How do I turn that notification off?
So let's talk about these fucking awesome swords behind you
Oh,
really
man.
quickly, because so you're a Lord of the Rings fan,
Oh yeah,
as Joe said,
big time.
and I think I see Sting. Right? Is that Sting?
Sting is down at the end.
Oh, that's Legolas's sword.
This one is Orcrist from Thorin Oakenshield sword.
Yeah.
that he
Oh,
finds
good.
with Sting.
Good.
I have like all the named ones because
Good.
I'm a huge Lord of the Rings nerd.
'Cause that's
so is
my
my
question.
wife. She's a huge nerd too.
My question was going to be, how do you feel about the Hobbit movies and the fact that
Oh,
you have
God.
Oh,
Thorin's-
interesting.
you have
I
Thorin's
like the sword. They did a good job with the sword.
Okay, all right. Damn it.
Big sword guy.
I'm on my quest to find people that liked the Hobbit movies. Like I am bummed out they turned them into 3. I thought that was absolutely pointless, but I love Martin Freeman as Bilbo.
I did too.
And seeing Ian McKellen do Gandalf for 3 more movies, come on, give me more. Like,
I'll honestly say I liked the first one, like to a mild degree, maybe like a 7 out of 10. Like,
Oh, that's pretty good.
okay,
I was like, okay, and then yeah, they totally went off the rails. And there's that one like behind the scenes footage of Peter Jackson just like sitting in the background with his head down, just like, what did I do? What did I do?
yep. There's a lot of really weird behind the scenes, like, kind of remorse that you can
Yeah.
see kind of just across all the actors' faces and shit.
They're all
Like
just
that-
like,
like-
oh, we're here. I guess we're here. New Zealand's nice. Everyone.
Well,
New
even
Zealand's
well,
Here we
even
are
the-
at the Shire. If you guys remember, we're sorry. But then after the shower, we're gonna. Sorry.
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 Well,
It
isn't
will be
there-
catered. It will be catered. You'll like it. It's gonna be nice.
I feel like there's a clip of one of the dwarves talking about how, like, we did a lot of work with our relationships and it's just kind of not on screen.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
And it's like,
We really
uh-oh.
developed all 13 of these or 12 of these
Yeah,
characters.
like
and
we had a lot of
cut all that
moments. Yeah, like I think there was moments where they were like developing their characters, because by the time you get to the second one, you're like, oh man, we should know these dwarves by now. And like nobody, there's
You
just
do not.
you kind of don't. Yeah, I mean, but I do
No,
because
not
I
at
love
all.
The Hobbit and I know about them. But yeah,
Yeah.
I went. So
was a
I didn't
wasted
like them the
opportunity.
first time that I saw them. Yeah, the first time I saw the trilogy, I was kind of like, I was very lukewarm on it, and I didn't think. I was like, okay, it's nothing like the originals. I'm done. I'll never watch them again. But then years later, after talking to Steve a few times and hearing him adamantly love them, I was like, okay, I'm going to give them another shot. And I will say, going into them again with zero expectations, I found them a lot more enjoyable the second watch through.
I think
Not as
that's
good
a
as
big
the
problem,
original
right?
three.
We were all expecting the Lord of the Rings, and it's a
And that's
totally
not
different
fair.
vibe. Yeah, it's not fair. I get it. I agree with that.
I don't know. It seems like a kind of fair because it's
Peter Jackson.
It's Peter Jackson,
but
and it's the same author, and it's not part of
Totally.
the same series.
Totally, but here's what's not fair about it.
It's just Doomed. It's
The
doomed from the
Hobbit
get-go.
is
Yeah.
such a small story, and it was never and the Lord of the Rings was spun off of the Hobbit, it, like kind of haphazardly. Like eventually, like it wasn't originally meant to be this big epic story. Like Tolkien went back and changed it and made Lord of the Rings a sequel to the Hobbit and blah 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 blah. But the Hobbit is just a children's story.
Yeah,
it's just
it's
like
a kid's book.
It's a kid's book. So
One of those
there
dwarves
was,
has a blue beard. It's a kid's
right.
book.
There's no way that a children's book was going to live up to the epic story of Lord of the Rings. Like, and totally, Elliot, you got the same director, you got the same location, you got the, same writer,
team,
you got the same
more money.
team,
effects.
everybody,
Yeah.
more money, less time, I guess, but also like, yeah, you felt like it couldn't fail, but unfortunately the source material just couldn't live up to the source material of Lord of the Rings. And I think that's the unfair thing, is that no matter what, you were going to compare it to Lord of the Rings, even though The Hobbit is such a smaller story. So I think that and I totally think what happened is people went into The Hobbit thinking it was just going to be the Lord of the Rings again. And I think that now that some time has passed, and now that everyone knows The Hobbit is not Lord of the Rings, it's its kind of own separate thing. I think it's time to revisit it and see it as something that isn't meant to be better than Lord of the Rings. It's just something that just kind of was like, well, money.
Yeah.
Money's a
We're
thing.
sorry.
I feel like their early intentions were to make it something pretty different, because they had Guillermo del Toro come out. That they did like
Yeah.
very different design work from the Lord of the Rings. Like the goblins that they created were all like weird and like super pale and had funky looking like Guillermo del Toro design
And,
faces.
like
and-
boils,
would've
they're
been
all
amazing.
gross
yeah,
and shit.
and it was like they were trying to make something really different, and I feel like maybe the studios were like, well, it's too different. Bring it back.
Yep.
Well, it's too late now. Fire that guy or whatever, you know. And it's
which is interesting to say, because it's like even who knows if they had gone in the two different realm, if that would have done any good for it either, you know. Like we'll never know if a Guillermo del Toro Hobbit would have even been good, you know. Like
Yeah.
it's really
Yeah, we'll never
hard to know. And the fact that they like went the safe route and just made it look and feel and basically taste and smell like Lord of the Rings, like they kind of went the safe route, and maybe it was safer to do that, because at least it kind of like aesthetically works
So
Like,
much so that they were like, you know, he's not in the book, but what if we brought back fucking Legolas? Huh?
the fans won't understand it if it doesn't have a character.
Right,
from the
right,
other
we
one.
gotta
Well, we already
ground
do.
it.
No, we need
Wait,
another one.
won't he look a lot older and kind of like have a bigger, fatter
won't
face?
he be a little swole?
Yeah, it's yes.
That's how elves
Yes.
age, Joe. That's how they age.
yeah
Quickly.
he
Yeah.
didn't get rid of his baby fat yet.
Well,
In
yeah,
reverse.
they age in reverse. Yeah,
reverse,
that's how-
But
that-
I was gonna say, unless you're jumping off Lord of the Rings.
No, keep going. Then I will jump off in a
Okay.
tangent.
One last thing I
dare
was
you.
gonna say is we have the Amazon Lord of the Rings series coming, which is like
That's
I'm stoked.
There's
very exciting. There's hope.
Yeah.
It's interesting. We don't know much about it. But we do know that people have been getting hurt on the set repeatedly. There's been a lot of injuries on the new Lord of the Rings. But
It feels like I mean, this is going to sound cynical, but it feels like they're going to say that so that people are like, oh man, this is going to be really action-packed and exciting.
I guess that's true. Actually. That's a good point.
It's just like somebody
buzz.
like gets like a hangnail and they're like, "That's an injury. We got another injury."
Count it.
Put it on the books. Got an injury, another injury.
Yeah, tell deadline.
Got 550 injuries now. Great.
Although I will say that the claims of apparently, according to this article, claims of unsafe conditions on the Lord of the Rings series set were refuted by Amazon Studios as inaccurate.
Oh
And
yeah,
that
because
they're-
Amazon loves to
Refuted
be
by
honest about their
God.
worker
Right.
conditions.
Exactly.
Jeff Bezos, written by Jeff Bezos.
Yeah.
Right. Don't look here.
It's just not true.
Nothing to see here.
They're
But,
shooting the whole thing in a fulfillment factory. I don't know if you guys knew that or not.
Just down the road, actually. It's pretty cool.
But they are filming it in New Zealand, which is interesting. But Peter Jackson's not involved at all, I don't think.
Did they get Weta to work on it at all? Do you know?
That's a good question. Let's find
That'd
out.
be weird if they got some like third-rate prop house to do everything. Like Weta's sitting over there, like, well, we
Yeah,
have everything.
that's-
We have everything.
Yeah,
Doesn't
you're
look
just
like
hurting our
sitting.
feelings.
It's just sitting here.
Yeah.
Use it.
We have the weapons and the armor and all of it.
I mean, it doesn't say Weta is working on it, and this
Oh,
is
wow.
the like what we know so far about the series article.
Dang.
But it is taking place during. It's a prequel series.
Right. I think it's like some part of. I think they've sort of done some. From what I've read, it's a sort of a creative licensed version of the Silmarillion. So obviously, I don't think they're going to start at the beginning and do all like in the beginning. I think they're going to take sections of that where there are interesting characters and make one single story out of it.
For
that's
those
gonna
of
be
you
awesome.
that don't know, the Silmarillion is in my opinion, borderline impossible book to read.
Got to listen to it. It's really better when you listen to it.
Yeah, there were.
It's like
rumors-
Lord of the Rings Bible. It's tough.
Yeah.
Apparently,
Real world
season
building,
one, season one of this Lord of the Rings shows has a $465 million budget.
Jesus, that's crazy. How much
it's
are they
good.
paying even fatter faced Legolas to make an appearance?
No,
Yeah,
see, that's the thing. It takes place so prequeled that there will be no characters that we've met really.
Don't
I think
believe
that's the
it.
right. I think that's the
Yeah,
right
they'll
thing
find
to
a
do,
way.
though. Like it's like
Yeah.
if Star Wars would have done like Knights of the Old Republic, they wouldn't have had to worry about connecting anything to the Skywalker trilogy. They could have just been
Yep.
like, it's thousands of years before, so who cares about continuity? Do whatever we want. I
I'm
think
really
that's what the right thing to do.
I'm very excited in a nerdy way about the fact that Michael Keaton is returning as Bruce Wayne in
Yes.
the 2023 Flash.
Yes.
And so yesterday I had a little tummy ache, and so I was like, I'm gonna watch what I want to watch. And then I got in bed and I started watching Batman Returns, and I couldn't get through it because it's so dark and so gross. And I was like, I don't want to watch this. This is grossing me out. but
Whoa,
it
it
made me
grossed
very
you
excited.
out.
Like
Have you
DeVito?
rewatched it lately? It's
I
DeVito.
love it.
The whole thing, it's so. Oh yeah, it's great. I mean, I had a great time, but I was like, I just forgot. Like, no wonder Mike
Yeah.
or Tim Burton lost his job after that movie because all the toy companies were like, you can't take kids to see this. Like, Batman's barely in it. A woman's falling out of a building. Cats are eating her. A guy's biting another guy's face off. I was like, my
Yeah.
goodness, can't wait for Keaton.
Penguin's like vomiting in every scene.
Yeah,
or, not,
just
or a
blood
penguin.
and-
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's like,
Hold on, that's like a
Yeah.
toy.
He's like,
that's like a
so-
toy feature. You could get Hasbro to make a really cool
Exactly,
toy where you kind of
squirts
pull
it
the
out,
lever
yeah.
on the back.
just black goo comes out of his mouth.
Yeah.
They could have done that with the first Batman, the '89 Batman, where they could have sold a toy of like Joker burning that guy to death.
Yeah. With the,
A
yeah.
great little toy set.
Yeah.
It comes with
Turns
8
charred.
Yeah. It
But
comes with
anything with
8
Keaton
very
in it.
cheaply made like ones that you can burn, and then you can buy extras after the fact.
Yeah.
Or a candle. Maybe it's a candle.
Dude, Tyler, speaking of more nerdy sword shit, that I learned something about you on your site that I had no clue about, and I want you to talk about it. You practice HEMA.
Oh,
and I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
know what the hell that is. And then I looked it up and I was like, holy shit, that's cool. What the
Yeah,
hell's
it's-
HEMA?
It's basically like, I guess the best way to frame it is it's like Olympic fencing meets Japanese kendo. So we have like the same kind of gear that you would see in kendo, but it's more Olympic fencing style. So it's all black with like a heavy black fencing mask, and then we just do it's all, our swords are not they're not those epee rapiers, they're long swords. So they're kind of like this sword behind me, but blunt. So it's based off of like an old German and Italian late medieval martial art.
HEMA stands for Historical European Martial Arts.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Wow!
Super fun. It was like a few years ago, maybe 5 years ago. I was like, I need to exercise, and I like two swords. I like swords.
I like,
like to swords.
What do I do with this information?
How can I combine these two? Oh,
Something isn't right.
Did you get hurt? Like, is it a potential to get hurt kind of sport?
there is a little bit. We're pretty safe. We wear a lot of protective gear. Like I have significant hand protection and like what's called a gorget, which is like a steel throat protection, so you don't catch a sword in your throat.
Whoa.
And a pretty significant
Jesus.
mask and a jacket. But the biggest risk is, especially in tournament, because people hit really hard in tournament, is you can get your hands broken pretty easy. So I don't do like the tournament stuff because I can't break my thumb.
I
or
mean, if you
anything.
break your hand, that's some dangerous shit for
Yeah.
your career.
So I
For sure.
avoid that, and I just do like more the
Yeah.
martial side where we practice technique and spar and stuff. But I don't do like the heavy competition stuff anymore.
Yes, and
Wow.
let's not confuse this with like this is like not to say this other thing that I'm about to say is not legit, but this is like not LARPing. This is
It's not, yeah, it's not like SCA, which is the guys who get in the legit armor and they go like bash each other in a field. And it's not like LARPing where it's like foam swords and they're doing like role playing game type
Yeah.
analogy. This is basically just it's like a martial art built into medieval weapons. So we do long sword and buckler and spear and
Mace?
dagger. No, yeah, there's a little bit of that. There's not a lot of like historical mace work, so we don't really touch maces. But yeah,
Get
so
out
this
of
is a
here
big
with
thing?
your
This is
silly
popular?
mace.
it's come up in the years because it's so, I guess, analogous to the sport aspect of Olympic fencing. It looks very similar. You just have much heavier swords. So it's kind of come up a lot lately because it's just like a fun way to exercise, and it's I had when I was a kid I did martial arts, so it's kind of like a cool martial art now to get into this very unexplored or mostly unpopular unexplored martial arts system that has semi
So
been
I'm
lost.
guessing the weapons. Yeah, so you're bringing it back. It's like dead languages. You're bringing it back.
There's a bit of that.
Are the swords like weighted? Like I'm guessing you're using like actual weighted correctly swords and weapons, but they're blunt. I'm guessing.
Yeah,
And-
so
and
we
they're
use
just- they're not as
what
dangerous.
you like what they call a Federschwert, which is a German word for a feather sword. So it's weighted like
God
a long
bless you.
sword. I'm fluent in medieval German now. It's like a light sword, but it's the same weight as a long sword. They've just taken all the impact out of it by like making the blade kind of thin, and then it's rolled at the end when you see these. So they're rolled at the end, so when you do like a thrust, you're not actually stabbing anybody. But they're cool. I have a whole like these are the ornamental swords because I like Lord of the Rings, but my basement has this giant rack of actual like functional medieval swords made by this swordsmith
Torture
in
rack
Minnesota.
in the basement.
Whoa.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Welcome
you
to
could
my
cut a
torture
guy.
chamber.
Like if someone
Yeah,
broke
I
in.
go to this. Yeah, if someone broke in, I don't know. I
Yeah.
feel like the police would come in. They'd be like, I think we have to arrest you because you killed a man with a
We don't
medieval
know.
Yes,
This isn't right.
I was protecting
Something
you.
doesn't feel right.
Something's
Yeah.
not right.
I think we have to arrest you, sir. I know this is your house, but I think we have to arrest you.
Just kind of
This
feel like it.
That arm shouldn't be there. It should be on the man. I think. That's
So
not right.
I just need to get this right for my report. You used one of these what did you HEMA swords to knock this man unconscious, but then you unnecessarily plunged a Lord of the Rings ornamental sword into his heart.
Yeah.
Well, I meant to grab my real medieval sword, but
I didn't have time.
Didn't have
I wanted the
time.
whole Rob Roy thing. I wanted to kind of cut him halfway in half.
do you think you could actually hurt somebody with those ornamental swords? I'm sure you could.
Yeah, they're way heavier than like what a normal sword would be, but they're pretty pointy. So yeah, you
Yeah.
can hurt somebody pretty bad with them.
Good to know. Hang on,
Do you
I'm gonna
want?
write this
Do
down.
you want
Yeah,
to?
if you write that down.
I'm gonna write it down.
Send that to the United Cutlery. Could kill a man.
Cancel my
Oh no, he's
ADT
gonna
alarm
ruin
service.
it. Ruin it for everybody.
That's a feature. I think you could put it on the website. It's an ornamental Gandalf's ornamental sword, but could kill a man.
It could kill a man.
Could kill it.
Tyler, we're winding down, but you're a big movie buff. You're a big video game guy. We've bonded over all that stuff for years. What are you looking forward to that's coming out in the near future? What's getting your rocks off?
I mean, There's a few things I think coming up that could be pretty cool. I think what I'm not, I think I might be slightly over is the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I might be a little bit over.
Oh, how could
it.
you be? It's not like they're so few and far between.
You know, it's 25 really great cinematic pieces.
Yeah. Each one.
But I think, I don't know. There's some weird horror movies that I'm kind of interested in, but I can't think anything off the top of my head.
How about The Green Knight?
Okay, that I'm super looking forward to.
Yeah,
that looks super cool.
wait. I can't wait. I cannot wait. It looks.
What
so
about the
fucking
Flash?
cool.
They're gonna have old Batman, and some of them are saying that there's some of them are saying that it's Bruce Wayne gonna set the Batman Beyond movie after that. He's gonna be old Bruce Wayne, Batman Beyond.
I'm really excited about that too.
Yeah, pretty cool.
I'm a big Highlander fan, so I'm not excited about this Highlander remake that they're apparently gonna make.
I know.
I'm not gonna start. I'm keeping an open mind. I'm not gonna complain about it before it happens. But I'm like such a huge Highlander fan, the original Highlander movie, that I'm probably gonna go into the theater like this.
I don't already like it.
Sir, would you like some popcorn? Would you like a soda?
No. I want my money back after this.
Okay, sir. Why did you bring a sword?
You're not allowed to bring that sword. You're not. Okay, just keep going.
Okay, all
The
right.
tip is bent. The tip is bent. Rolled over.
You're a horror guy. Have you watched Fear Street?
No, not yet.
I watched the first one and I was underwhelmed, but I've heard the next one is real good, and which just dropped last night. But for those of you listening to this, it's been out for a couple days now. But yeah, it dropped last night. I'm very excited about it. It's going through eras. So I guess like the first one was 94, this one's 70 something, and then the last one is
Fun.
1800s, I guess.
Oh, cool. Shoot, I'm good at that. I haven't seen those.
Yeah.
I know we'll get your giblets going. What do you think of the new Metroid and the Breath of the Wild 2 coming out?
Ooh.
Super excited about both, especially because I'm like Metroidvania nut, and I don't think they've made a Metroid game in like 15 years. So and
Not
they're doing
in
it like old
not
school.
In Metroidvania style.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Not like the side
That's great.
scroller platformer. So I'm super excited about that. And then Zelda is whatever.
No
if they put it
brainer.
on a new system, I'll buy 3 of them. Just
Right,
so that I can
right.
have it. I buy Nintendo systems to play Zelda games.
What about WarioWare?
me,
Are you
yeah,
excited
that's what I
about WarioWare?
No, I've never been a Wario fan.
Oh man,
Or
I neither have I.
kind of
But
a half Mario
WarioWare is the way to go. It's just bonkers mini games essentially, which I'm just a
okay.
big nerd for. So
Yeah,
The,
that sounds great.
yeah.
You had some suggestions for other Metroidvania games. What was it? Ori?
Those Ori games are good. Axiom Flux, I think, was one of them.
I'm gonna check them all
Whoa,
out.
I'm
Yeah, check them out.
unfamiliar.
They're cool.
I'm familiar with those.
The Ori
and
ones are
Hollow
really good. They're and Hollow Knight. Yeah, Hollow Knight
Hollow
is
Knight's
Oh, Hollow Knight.
super
Oh,
good, but
masterpiece.
it's definitely the feel of Dark Souls, and that the bosses are near impossible, and
I had to
you get
stop
really frustrated.
because it was too frustrating for me, and I also kind of didn't want it to end.
I loved it. I beat the shit out of that game.
Keeps
I
going and
slaughtered
going
all
and
those
going.
bosses.
Did you play Spiritfarer?
No, what's that one?
I tried to get Joe into it. It's the one where it's like there's a girl who's kind of like she guides like souls to the like to basically to move on, to pass on to the next life, and the souls are represented as animals. And so you're basically like on a boat with all these like animal people kind of hybrids that are just kind of like people that were a part of your life that you're helping lead to the other side. It's kind of like it's kind of depressing, but a beautifully
emotional.
beautifully
Jesus.
well made game. I highly recommend it. It's a little indie game.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
Yeah, my wife works in the game industry, so we get lots of weird games coming out. Her like Steam account is
Oh man.
Impressive.
Steam's got
Impressive.
some
You're
good
a-
stuff.
You're a world-renowned artist, and she works in video games. That's pretty cool, Tyler.
yeah, we got cool stuff going on over here. Cool stuff.
You've done pretty cool
Well,
stuff.
Sounds
shout
like
out-
maybe
shout
the
out
fun never
to-
ends.
Oh, she's not in here, but shout out to my wife, Kate Welch.
Yay!
Steve knows her. He's
yes,
worked with
I
her.
did.
Oh yeah, that's right. You guys did a game together.
Yes, we did. Yes, we
That's
did.
so
Tyler-
crazy.
She's very lovely. Tell her I
Are
said hi.
you
I will.
are you like so excited to hold your book that is going to be
Yeah.
for the rest of your
Oh,
life.
man.
You're going to have a compendium of your light up until now, like, and it could be a first part, you do more later. I think it's the coolest thing.
compendium
I would
number
never
one.
want one of anything I've ever done, but you do good stuff, and that's different.
I'm really excited to have it because it's kind of like a dream come true. But I will say, like, I'm pretty critical of my own stuff, and so there's like 160 pages so far of art, and I'm going through all of it, compiling all of it, looking back on stuff that I'm like, oh, I don't want to even show this, but it's good for people to see like where I came from.
No, I
That's
guess it's
great.
good.
This
Okay.
piece looks so bad.
If it hurts, I guess it's good. Okay.
Yeah, it's good. They'll appreciate it. They won't see all the flaws that I see.
Yeah, you can't deny them the pieces they love. You know, if they love them.
How many pieces overall do you think are going to make it into the book?
So right now, I think we had enough for probably 2 books, so we had to trim it down significantly. But yeah, there's at least right now our page count is 160. So and some of the pages are doubled up, so there's probably a little bit more than 160 pieces. But yeah, I think that's what we're gonna add. We already have it on the Kickstarter that we're gonna add 16 more pages. So the 16 more pages will most likely be, and we haven't really decided yet. Over this month, we'll finish design, but it will probably be sort of a process of 1 or 2 pieces and like a look at my studio and stuff like that. Because I know that it's something I really like in an art book is when like the back of the book has a bunch of sketches and process work. There's speaking of Drew Struzan again, he put out a whole book that's just sketches and process work. So it's like an extra little tidbit that I know people who are fans of the art will want to see, and it's going to be in the back. So that'll be nice. But
This is going to be a heavy book. This is going to be
It's
a
a big
big,
one. It's
heavy
gonna be big.
book.
we're doing a cool record. It's called like a record format. So it's a 12 by 12. So it's like a big square.
Awesome.
And
Coffee
it's just a
table
great
setting.
way to, because most of my
Beautiful.
work's Magic and Magic the Gathering work. So it's already pretty horizontal. So it's a great format to kind of do double page spreads. And
Awesome.
Ooh, what question? One last thing before we go.
yes.
This is too much pressure for you. I know.
Wait, and then I have one last thing.
Okay.
So a
Wait, I have
second to
one thing
last.
as well.
So 3 more
Oh, okay.
things. at
Okay.
3
least.
more things.
Hold on. Let me have a little post-it note here. Let me put it as an initiative order.
Make sure you write this down.
If you had to pick your 3 most favorite pieces that you've worked on and that people go look up, what would they be?
That's a good one.
Okay, yeah, I'm not sure all of these are in the book, but maybe. Okay, one of them is the first one because we've been talking about Struzan so much. In the near the end of the book, we're gonna have a cover I did for a D&D campaign called Dragon Heist.
I'm looking this up.
Ooh.
And when I got the art description, I was like, okay, I think we should do like a movie poster for this. And so I convinced the art director to trust me to do basically like a Struzan style movie poster for Dragon Heist, which takes place in Waterdeep, and it has all the cool like villains.
Is it
and
the
they're
dude
in
with
that,
the feather in his hat?
yeah, so it's in that Struzan style stack of characters. And then there's like
Cool.
the evil bad guy right in the front, and then there's the Xanathar, who's like the super evil bad guy in D&D, and behind them all is this big circular composition. That's one of my favorites because it was me trying to do a Struzan style poster.
Ooh, we have
for
to
a
share
D&D
that.
game campaign.
Let's
Is
share
that your
it in the
hand,
video
Tyler?
version.
Yeah, well, that's my hand. I bet your ass is my hand.
Excuse me, is that your hand?
Excuse me, is this your hand?
Literally
Sir?
every hand you see is mine. Let's see,
What about
so
this one?
That's
I gotta pick
Cthulhu in the
I got
back.
2 more. I have to pick 2 more, Joe. Jeez. Talk
Is that
about
your
pressure.
Cthulhu on your body
That's-
in the background?
My what? My Cthulhu? Oh yeah, that is
Your
well,
Cthulhu?
it's Hasbro, so it's like a kids company. So no, sir, it is not.
No, it's not.
I
Yeah,
think
it's really cool, dude.
I guess the second one is I did this giant red dragon that I actually have like a print of it above my fireplace. I did that for D&D as well.
Awesome.
I love that one. And then the last one I think is I did this giant billboard poster for Black Jesus, the Adult Swim show.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is it Adult Swim? Anyways, I did
Yeah.
this giant billboard poster, and it's a portrait of every character in the show, and they're on like a big
Last Supper?
Yeah, it's this big Last Supper.
This is you did
composition.
this?
Yeah. And
That's
that
so
was,
cool.
that was a big
Yeah.
favorite because I was like, oh, this should be easy. I have like a really good reference of all these. I can kind of do it Struzan style again, where I have super good reference of all the actors, so I can just power through, and it was like a whole week in, and I'd only done like half of the face portraits. I was
Oh
like,
my
holy
God.
shit, this is gonna take a long time.
Wow, that's so rad, man. I love
that. Was a fun piece.
Very cool. You answered that perfectly.
Nice
Thank you,
work.
Thank you.
I would love to leave us all, as tradition dictates, with a would you rather scenario. So Elliot, if what you need to say goes before that,
it's
please.
very important. It's very important. Can I have a copy of what you're doing when you come out?
Of course.
Oh, sure.
Signed copy for all
Signed
three
copy,
of you.
please.
For all three of you to fight over. Just one copy. I'm not
Yes.
Thank you so much.
But Elliot, if you want to jump in with what you wanted to say before this, if you think
That's
that's
what I said.
appropriate, then
that
I
was
would
what I
love it. Oh, great, wonderful. Oh, that's what it was. Okay,
I want a
got it.
copy.
Got it.
What was it? Yeah,
Nice
and if
one.
just
Please.
back to Kickstarter, Elliot.
We'll just
back
have
to
one for
Kickstarter.
the office. We'll have one for the office. We don't want to take too many away from people's
I don't do
hands.
any Kickstarter anymore.
I don't do Kickstarters.
I want
the
a
one-
personal. I would like a personal one sent to me.
I
or
want the
handwritten.
one from
Yes.
Tyler to be the one that like he gives us, like it's his high school yearbook where he's like, I don't like this picture, and he just scribbles out all the ones that he hates.
Don't
I
look
just
at
start
this one.
tearing
Don't
out-
look
yeah,
at his
tearing out the
rips.
pages. You like that one?
no,
I don't.
eating
I
them.
hate it.
He rips it out and eats them.
Don't look at it.
All right. Now I'd like to present you all with a would you rather, and then we can say goodbye to our wonderful guest Tyler Jacobson and everybody else.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming. You've been awesome, dude. This is really cool. I love nerding out with you about all this
Heck
shit,
yeah.
and we could do
No, we
it
gotta
for a
do this more
long
often.
time. Please, I would love to. All right, guys. Would you rather be able to teleport anywhere once per week? This is your ability. You can teleport anywhere you want once per week, or be able to reset the day anytime during the day once per week. So you can either teleport once a week, or you can reset the day once a week, anytime you want.
Are you reliving the day, or is it one of those like you get to make changes?
I guess you could make changes. Yeah, I guess that.
Reset the day.
Yeah.
Reset the day, hands down. Yeah,
Every day in Joe's
100%.
life has such high stakes that he's got to reset it.
yeah.
I feel like resetting the day is like you're fucking with destiny at that point, you know? Like
Yeah, the
I
fates
agree.
are going to come for you.
I go teleport. Yeah.
because teleport is like, man, I really want to go to this thing that's happening like 2 hours away.
But then you still got to walk back.
Yeah, but that's okay.
No, you wait a week and you
That's a
teleport
great
back.
point. Yeah.
Okay. Listen, getting there, but imagine being able to teleport there. That's pretty tight.
You teleport to the South Pole and you're like, shit.
Right.
Shit.
Ah,
No, this is a problem.
is there
I wish I
Uber
could
out
reset
here?
the day.
I can't get reception.
I would do the teleport too, though, because I like traveling places, so I would totally do that. I just wait a
Right?
week and then teleport back. It's
And-
fine, Joe.
Yeah, you could wait
Weeks
a
at
week,
time.
or you could just buy a flight back from wherever if you really got to get back before
Yeah.
a week. But if you can, yeah, you know,
Yeah.
Also, if you do the day reset, you never learned from any of your mistakes. You have
Exactly.
therefore you don't grow as a person. And
Exactly.
you
I'm
have a
assuming-
cheat code. For the
I'm
rest of your
assuming
life.
it's Groundhog Day rules where I can live the day, but then I remember how I lived it, and I get to
Oh,
like
yeah.
make changes accordingly.
That'd be the best
So-
version of it. So
I could
But
take
what
a lot.
about
I could-
those mistakes you make, Joe? And we won't need to go into them. But
I will still take those in my soul. Again, you guys know me, and I'll feel those mistakes for weeks. And
But
then I'll just
the
have an
events
extra
of those
day.
mistakes, the events of those mistakes won't happen. So what if the events of those quote unquote mistakes actually turn out that those weren't mistakes to begin with at all? They actually all work out at the end, and you never find out. So
Wouldn't
you're
know. Reset
assuming
the
you're
day.
making mistakes.
yeah, you never know. You just will
That's fine.
you would never know.
That's
I mean,
fine.
for my career purposes, I would like to amend option 2 in that if I reset the day, all the work that I did that day is now done, and I
Yeah.
can get an extra day of painting time
Yeah, that
and meet my
yeah.
deadline.
I think we can
That'd be
make that
great.
happen.
That'd be
I
great.
think we can make
We'll
it
talk
happen.
to him. Yeah, we'll talk to the
Right.
committee.
We'll
I just
talk
need
to the
48-hour
Would You
days.
Rather
Can I get 48
Council.
hours?
Yes,
Yeah.
the WYR.
The Fellowship of Would You Rather.
WYR Inc. All right,
They're
well,
bastards,
guys,
but they're good at what they do.
thank you for listening to today's episode of the Valley Cast. What a special time, Joe, and Tyler and Elliot.
Yeah,
And
thank
I
you,
wanna-
Tyler.
I want to
Thank
thank
you
you for
guys.
coming on the show, man. This has been so cool.
It's been super fun. You guys are great.
Dude,
Next
one more
time you're gonna have to show us all your swords one by one.
Oh yeah, well
Every
it'll be
single
like a
one.
weird spooky camera going into the basement and then.
Oh, I
panning
love
over.
it.
There'll be one or
Perfect.
two bloody blades.
Yes.
Yeah, that's my cooking sword.
Those are my
Uh,
evidence swords.
What? So one more time, they can go to Kickstarter and look up the art of Tyler Jacobson. That's the easiest way to do it.
Right. And you can go to my website, which is just tylerjacobsonart.com. And the first banner on there is a link to the Kickstarter as well. And then through my social media, which is I think my Twitter is at Jacobson Tyler because there's some other jerk out there that I haven't found yet.
Damn
and
you.
taken his life.
Damn you.
And then I think my Instagram is just at Tyler Jacobson Art.
Hell yeah!
Awesome.
I'm
thanks,
following
dude.
that right now, Tyler.
Oh, great.
Yay! Yes, you've got 2 new followers for
Well,
sure.
Thanks. I've been following you guys for a long time, so you guys are great.
Oh, thank you, man. This is awesome. Well, it was really cool having you here. Thank you to our listeners, to our patrons, and to everyone beyond. And anything
Dead
else you want to say? To the dead
Everyone,
people,
to
to
the
the
great
ghosts,
beyond.
the ghosts people,
All the people that have ever died. Ever
people
on Earth.
behind the grave, beyond
All
it
the-
and behind it.
All the multiverse humans that exist because of all
Yes.
the gays getting
The
reset.
Lokis.
Interdimensional aliens, redundancies, what have you. Joe, anything else? Any other?
No, that's it. Go check out Kickstarter.com/movie games as well. We sent out surveys so everybody can put their information in. And what that means is that we're getting really close to printing, and we're gonna have to shut down sales at some point. So if you want this, go get it now.
Nice.
You better hurry.
Love it.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for listening to the Valleycast. We'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Said